Señores oyentes de Usalamedia, estamos aquí de nuevo con Compass, nuestro amigo invitado especial John Duffin.
Hola, señor.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Y usted?
Bueno, un poco
mejor.
mejor ahora que estamos empezando.
Sí, un poco.
Sí, y bueno, me parece muy bien que estemos aquí los dos, porque hay muchos temas que debemos hablar sobre varias cosas.
Mil gracias.
So, John, for anybody who's been under a rock and doesn't know, is a social media personality right now. He's
Thank you.
promoting people, telling people how to present themselves,
Exactly.
how to improve your voice, your appearance, and so on. So he's the guru of anybody who wants to improve their presentation.
You're very kind. Thank you for saying all that. Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you. It's just been a great experience so far. And thanks for having me here. This is wonderful. I really appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you for coming in. This was, I was hoping you would be able to make it.
Anytime. Shame we don't have anything to talk about today.
My God. Okay, so that's one of the things that we have so much that we have
Right.
to try to compress some of this information right now. And unfortunately, again, the opposite of what my my director suggests, that I do not mention the orange inhabitant of Mar-a-Lago. Here we are, because I mean I would love to get away from the topic if he would just
Who wouldn't?
stay there.
That's all. Honest to God, it's go live your life. I would be fine with that. I'm not the vindictive type. I'm not the celebratory
I
type.
am.
But what I would say is, but go live your life away. If you're going to stay in the spotlight, if you're going to insist on needing to be a political presence or a legislative presence or an influencer of others, like in Congress, like in the House, well, then I become vindictive. And my thought is, he had an opportunity. He really had an opportunity to get the hell out of the way. And I think people would have just been grateful, like, oh, live your life in Mar-a-Lago, act like the big celebrity that you think you are now. And then I probably would have been fine. But if you're going to be in our face relentlessly, influencing people and decisions and policy, well then no, I then become very, very vindictive.
Yes, and he would have retired. I think he would have.
He's old enough to, right?
He would have gone away, but the man with the spine of an eel went down to Mar-a-Lago and rescued him. Embraced him.
Exactly.
Kevin McCarthy. His last name always reminds me of the McCarthy hearings.
And by the way, it should. It really should. Because I think even back then, and I wasn't really around back then for that, but I was going to say, even back then, those individuals were ogres. But the problem really is they're willing to let other people help them make decisions. But the thing that they're worst at back then and now with Kevin McCarthy is he allows people to help him make decisions. So who's going to appeal to that? The most ugly, awful people. And so the most ugly, awful crowd is the one that is influencing him like he's some sort of a puppet. And they're the marionette saying, give the tapes to, I can't even say his name, but I have to, so you know what I'm talking about, like to Tucker Carlson. Give all of the video to him. Give all that, bring us these crazies onto committees.
Yes.
To do nothing but investigate nothing.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson deserves a little more time that we'll talk about him.
Absolutely.
Perhaps.
Oh, yeah. He's a little more
it's
special,
insane. Yeah.
which is funny because I would have thought it was a three-way tie between the three clowns and Rupert Murdoch. But absolutely, he deserves a little bonus time.
I think so, because I think in so many ways, he is the intellectual author of whatever is happening to the Republican Party right now.
Exactly.
Everybody thought it was Trump, but I think this guy is dictating the agenda. He's the one who got the video from the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who is telling Marjorie Taylor Greene what to say, what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who is justifying everybody's actions.
And I think it's even, I'm with you, but I think it's worse than that. I think he's not telling Marjorie Taylor Greene what to do. I think it's more allowing her to say whatever the hell she wants. Because if you're afraid of somebody, like he clearly is, and they're afraid of some sort of a recall, she says, I'm going to do this or else. And when you use the expression spineless like an eel, well, that's what happens. You allow it. I don't think, to me, one of the roughest parts about Kevin McCarthy, he reminded me, still does, of like the guy who was like the fun one, so to speak, at the frat house. So he was the one that was bringing the beer and come on, let's go to the party. Had nothing really productive to do.
Right.
But people just walked all over him. And I think that's what's going on right now. So you have these ridiculous investigations and you have people making fools of themselves. And that's not even the problem.
He was the popular guy in the frat house because he brought the beer.
Yeah, brought the beer.
And
nothing else.
Because he was so popular because of that, they made him the president.
They make him the president. You make him you make him the frat president. Right. And then everyone else runs over him.
Right.
And that's what's going on now. So when you watch these over-earnest clowns, the Matt Gaetzes, the Lauren Boeberts, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, asking these overly earnest questions of nothing.
And the other one from Arizona that you want to talk about.
Oh, God almighty, right? My personal favorite in all of this. And how do you know? Her blurred lens. So you see her blurred, Carrie Lake is, to me, just sickens me. The only thing I would say is like the worst of the worst, because there's nothing authentic about her, including her blurred camera lens.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like she doesn't even appear authentic, let alone act authentic. And she is the biggest, I think, cartoon character of all of them who's just not going to let up. She will not, and that's the only dangerous part. She ain't going anywhere.
Right.
You know?
And by the way, because of that, that's the reason she evokes Trump.
Exactly.
Because you immediately think, this is what she's doing. It's like, there's no reality except the reality I'm describing to you.
That's it.
No, don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears, don't believe what you read. Believe what I say.
See, even the job. So there's a lot of great news personalities. You're one of them, by the way, because you're authentic. But there is, you're welcome. But what I was also going to say is, in the field, there are a lot of news personalities that are literally personalities. So you've got now, more so on the right, but you have it really on both sides too, people that are reading scripts.
Yes.
And it's frightening to me. It's really frightening what's going on at Fox. And I can't even call them Fox News, Fox Entertainment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, it's as newsworthy as wrestling to me is. And as authentic.
But at least wrestling is entertaining.
At least it's entertaining.
People.
At least it's watching.
To some people.
I have from time to time, but at least I know what I'm getting. I know it's like certain things like that. You know what you're getting. Where I can't sit and watch. I won't watch Fox News and or Newsmax or any of them. I won't, and the main reason is because it's influencing some people. If I believed nobody's buying this nonsense and nobody should, maybe I would watch it. But I get angry, and I feel myself even gritting my teeth now because there are people that actually believe this. They vote a certain way because of these clowns. They contest what's going on because of these clowns.
Right.
And with the Dominion lawsuit, all of this is coming to light. You know?
Yeah, but wrestling. When I was a kid, I watched some of that.
Yeah.
Until I couldn't anymore.
Because you knew it was fake.
But
you knew it was fake, and why the hell am I bother with this weird stuff?
I grew up with Batman and Superman, right? And I used to have a pillowcase, and I put it around my shoulders. I was Superman.
By the way, I love every bit of that. And I was that era.
My parents locked the windows because they thought I was going to try to fly out the window. Anyway, no, they didn't. But it's just funny to say. But yeah, those you believe that when you're a kid.
Right.
These people that are around us, the MAGA people, believe all this fiction.
And do things as a result. See, that's the problem. If it's just what you believe, that's fine. Believe whatever you want. It doesn't impact me. But if it's go to the polls and vote a certain way so that cartoon characters are holding positions of power. I can't look at MTG, Matt Gaetz. I can't look at them without getting sickened.
How did they get where they are? Right?
And there they are.
That's what you want.
And well, here's what I believe. That's the problem with propaganda news. They get there as a result. Because, as I said, if you believe this, fake news, fake election, fake this, blah, blah, well, certain people are going to take action as a result. That's the dangerous part. The insurrection that's the problem. Other people are voting. Georgia, the state of Georgia voted for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I mean, that's it. You wonder who voted for this bus of clowns.
Clowns, complete clown's car, and as you watch the overly earnest, things where they get disproved. There's no facts, and thank God they're interviewing.
They don't care.
They don't care.
I'm lying.
Don't care.
Vote for me.
Right.
Because I'm the best liar.
So to me, that's the biggest problem with say like the Fox News. That's why I want with the Dominion lawsuit, I want this to go into billions in terms of judgment because it's the only way you have a chance.
Yes.
Millions, they'll just pay it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're not going to fire the personalities. They're too important. And they're not going to fire them unless it's like some obscene billion-dollar judgment or something like that.
Yeah, well, but that's one of the problems. Ethics, appealing to them because of ethics, doesn't do the job.
No. Oh, no.
Because of any kind of morality.
Right.
Because you're going to follow the law. That doesn't do it either.
No.
They don't care. What law?
And you have people peppered in terms of states and things like that. There used to be, there was a thought that, okay, the federal government is a problem because you've got the House, they're not going to do anything, and blah, blah. But the states could look out for certain things. And then you realize the states are also peppered with some of these clowns, too. And they influence decisions.
And there are more each day.
More each day.
More in each of these states, the legislatures are being taken over by MAGA people.
Exactly.
And they're pushing that agenda.
So it becomes, if you keep getting fed and you keep believing it, nothing's changing. In fact, no, I'm sorry, it will change. It'll just change for the worse.
Well, but there must be a law of diminishing returns. At some point...
I believe it.
At some point, Americans will wake up and say, what? Look at this landscape of lies and distortions and danger for our society. That's my hope, that Americans one day say, like, Eureka, look at this.
Right.
Look what we have wrought. Well, so
here's
John,
a gag. One last, I would only say this, which is, I think you got to take a few key people out. And I don't mean kill them. I mean, you can't keep threatening and doing nothing.
Estamos en Usalamedia Campus con John Duffin, hablando sobre muchas cosas. Regresamos en un momento. Pagano's Market and Bar has been serving gourmet Italian foods in Center City for 3 generations. Call Matthew Pagano for all your catering needs, and during these difficult times, please mention Fernando Mendez and receive a nice discount along with free delivery. Pagano's also makes the finest gift boxes in the city for all your holiday needs. Visit paganosmarketandbar.com. Amigos de Usalamedia, estamos aquí de nuevo en Compass con John Duffin. Este programa lo dirige Danny Dylan Di Rosato, excuse me. And, well, Danny sometimes participates in this. Les habla Fernando Mendez. Estamos aquí en una conversación con John about what's happening to this country. All the influencers that have given us a noxious landscape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's easy. This is
which the trains have contributed to that too.
Absolutely. It's like because entertainment is considered acceptable.
Yes.
Polarization is fine. And the fact of the matter is, it takes too long. I think this is what's going on. It takes too long to formulate an educated opinion for a lot of people. So you don't. So my thought is, so what the hell do you do? It's like right now, it's terribly frightening because I can look at a social media post. I can watch one blurb of one opinion and just start firing off opinions. You know? Right. He said, they said, oh, boom. My thought is, for me, it's like, it's going to take forever. But it's like one of these things is, take the extra steps, meaning take 5 minutes to listen to somebody. Right. This is the hope. Joe Biden was brought in the hope that he was always a strong negotiator, always strong with like that bipartisan, give people an opportunity. Now, I think this is going to be the toughest battle that anyone's ever had because, like I said, you've got the clown car on one side. This is not going to do anything. And so they're just going to keep the same agenda. But you have to hope that if you take a couple of people out, which, by the way, I'll go back to before, that's the only way this is going to fly. If my leader ruler is still visible, yes, well, I'm not changing. But if you take him out, if one of these indictments that are looming sticks, I think that's a wake-up call.
Yes.
And so get them out of the way, so to speak, so that someone who's good at bringing people together to have a conversation.
Right.
You know?
But that's a big if, John.
Oh, it's a huge one.
We were talking about one of the hosts of MSNBC.
Right.
Sort of with glee about the possibility that Trump is going to be indicted.
Oh my God! It was not just the glee; it was the fun and the smugness of watching late last night, watching, and I couldn't get over the big beaming, I told you, smile. So here's the thing: you're fueling these sorts of fights to continue to prolong. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, when you got friends in high places, meaning you're thinking, oh, he's going to get indicted, and then like a 10-year-old. So then what happens is someone short circuits the indictment.
Exactly.
He dances. He walks Absolutely. Again. So then Absolutely. What? And to me, it's like, so then the hatred stays, the division stays, and for myself, it's, you gotta at least have some conversations. Mm-hmm. By the way, that person we were talking about, Stephanie Rule, sorry, she actually had, and I think about this, she actually tried when she had Lauren Boebert on her show. Mm-hmm. Now, it was awful, and it was the train wreck that you would expect, two extreme polar opposites, no one's agreeing on anything. But at least she tried. My thought is, you got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. Listen to like Mitch McConnell, for God's sake, who's now is going to take on the role of elder statesman. You know what I mean? And where it's like, this is how crazy things are.
I was surprised at the division between McCarthy and McConnell.
Right.
You know,
cut from the same cloth, you'd think, right?
Look, back on January.
You mean January 6th?
February 12th of 21.
Yes.
Both of them in the chamber, both of them saying Trump did it, and they recognized what happened. They knew it was wrong.
The video was there. There was no confusing what their words were.
Right?
None.
Only for McCarthy to turn around and
fly to Mar-a-Lago
to embrace him.
Right? Ooh.
And then McConnell, just quiet. He has been silent through a lot of this that has happened. So, in fact, the leadership of the party was taken over by the loonies
Yeah.
because he stayed quiet. And now that he speaks up once in a while, he's, you know.
He's not wants to what, be the voice of reason? He wants to be the,
But he lost credibility.
he lost all of it.
He
by
lost
shutting up.
credibility in the party and outside the
Yeah,
party.
well, see, I know it's hard to speak your mind when it matters.
Yes.
But that's what these people are supposed to be doing.
Right.
So to just, I don't know anything, I'm fine, and have...
React right away and react strongly. Let people hear you.
And
let
then
people see you.
Stay true. That's the thing.
And
It's like
stay
no
with
one
it.
says you have to...
Yeah.
We can all learn, but to just shut up
Right.
and allow these other clowns to get loud.
Yes.
Like this is their moment. It's frightening to me. So to me, it's an awful situation right now because it's the current opinions, like the House, the investigation we were talking about before. It's all clown-like, but they've got the microphone.
Right.
They have the microphone, and they're going to keep it for the next
2 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that, it's like, so what do you do in the meantime?
Because in 2 years, I'm hoping in 2 years, blacks, Hispanics, women, young
transgender,
people,
LGBTQIA,
everybody,
all jump up and
please
vote.
Absolutely.
For God's sake.
It has to be en masse, everybody to the
Yep.
polls. And it has to be a determined group of people who would lead the way and say, this is what we have to do. Because that's what the absence of that kind of leadership right now is what has created this chaos. Because the loud people, the ones who are the crazies, are the ones who are in command of the news.
And they ain't going anywhere.
And every day we're dealing with that. Every day.
Single day. And all day.
And all day.
There's nothing else to talk about. So my thought is, it's asked, but here's the thing. And so I wonder, the problem is you're asking a lot of people, me too. You're asking a lot of people, the disenfranchised people, the people that are getting, you know what I mean, they get treated with minimal respect. You're asking them to do something. And the problem is the old, what's in it for them? So you got to get up and vote. And they're thinking, like from the highest level, right? I got to go with an 80-year-old president?
That's
well,
the problem.
Or who? Or this one? No. So you got to give them something.
Yes.
My thought is, right? I mean, not pandering, not,
Right.
It's please vote, please vote, please vote. It really matters. And then the question is, does it matter to them?
Yeah.
So the only way I'm getting off the couch is if it matters to me.
We should talk a little bit about that
Sure.
aspect of this, what's happening right now.
Right.
Because Biden has been a good president. I mean, in fact, he's
Damn good.
2 years.
Damn good.
Have been terrific in terms of what he has achieved. In fact, with a Congress that is not on his side,
Right.
nor the House.
Would you vote for him a second time?
And I would.
Absolutely, me too.
But here we are. Because of his age and because of a few stumbles, it has created the impression that he's not the best man to lead us in
Right.
24. Okay, but if that is the case, we need to decide fairly soon, and Biden needs to let us know, because there are candidates who are in the wings waiting. Sununu is one of them.
Exactly.
From California.
I know, it's blanked, and I could see the person. Not Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
And so there are people who could lead us, but you have to give them the platform. You have to give them the opportunity to present themselves.
Exactly.
And it's not enough time. There's not enough time.
No.
We need them for that to happen fairly soon.
Oh, well, here's a thought. You just gave me an idea. So when I'm king of the world, which will never happen, but when that's so, right, what you would do is the only way to circumvent the other noise that's going on now. It's the only way you're going to circumvent the clown car investigations that we're going to just sit through. The bad kids at school are going to literally have the microphone. That the only way you do it is start this now. Right now.
Yeah.
It's instead of just pandering and talk. I was just thinking of something. that I can remember in Philadelphia. So during the last presidential campaign, here's somebody who is certainly not young, but had the ear. Bernie Sanders was in Philly, and he did an appearance. And I know this because I happened to be in the area. Mm-hmm. And so I was maybe a half mile away, right? And why I'm bringing this up was you should have seen and heard the crowd that I could see from close to a half mile away. They were loud, they were engaged, they were young. And so, as I said, it doesn't even necessarily have to be that sense of young, but get this going now, because people could get engaged now. But if you literally if you literally wait until like the election cycle, so to speak, it'll be too late. It'll just be too late.
Yeah.
Like you said, you got to allow them to present. By present, get to know them. Literally get to know them.
You know, I was curious about this right now in terms of political candidates.
Right.
That there is no mention of Kamala Harris being the candidate.
Zero. So I don't know what to say about that, and it's not all Kamala Harris is doing, in my opinion.
No.
She's being positioned terribly badly, number one. But I know that it's like there's nothing that I'm seeing, feeling, or getting that would let me think, okay, it's time to lead the nation.
No.
But she didn't come from nothing.
No.
She was not an afterthought. When she was selected, it was like, this is a good pick.
Everybody thought it was a good choice.
It's a good choice. So the positioning is terrible, which means you better have a plan B.
Yeah.
So chances are Joe Biden won't cut her off for the next election.
No.
There's just no way. So she gets an opportunity. Now it's, what does she make of it?
She's a female Hubert Humphrey.
I remember Hubert Humphrey.
Behind the scenes.
Oh my God, right?
Credentials, blah, 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 except at least that guy has some energy. Talking about low energy
Right.
Bush, remember the attack?
Sure.
Jeb Bush?
Yeah.
Well, she has like tremendous low energy.
Tremendous.
So whatever charisma is, she's on the other side of that.
And this sounds
coin.
awful. There's plenty of people that have bad speaking voices in high profile. I know that, and she's one of them. Where it's like the sound of her voice
It's not
is
inspirational.
tough.
You're not going to lead anybody to anything.
And as I said, she's not alone. She's not all by herself. There's plenty of men that sound terrible in that. But that's the kind of thing is you've got to inspire. And right now that's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody wins in that case. She doesn't win, we don't win. It would be better if it would be better, I believe, in a million ways if Kamala Harris was elevated in regards to opportunities. I don't mean...
I don't think that that's remedy for her.
Just at least allow her to be seen and heard. That's all. I'm not saying give her a promotion.
On top of the fact that this country is not ready for a female, we had the best qualified female in our history, and she didn't go anywhere.
Exactly. And they're still pandering because the top 4 candidates for the other one, provided he can get out of his indictments, are all women, and they're all yes people.
Yes.
So it's the pandering is you're not even allowing the woman to take a real position of power.
Yes.
On the other side.
Yes.
It's a background role. And so, as you said, the one that should have, the one that every time I see her, I think, oh God, imagine if Hillary Clinton, imagine if she was actually doing the job, you know?
And somebody like Pete Buttigieg will have to quit now and start campaigning right away. But,
Tonight.
And I don't see that
And
happening.
I don't know that there's enough time.
I don't see that happening.
Right? You've got to break through barriers that are now so thick and pronounced.
Yes.
Right? That it's asking a lot. But I still feel like you have to make the effort. Because otherwise, you just shrug your shoulders and remain with, okay, this.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, John, I said we were going to meander.
Oh, there you go.
And that's what we're doing so far. But some of this is really interesting. So
Thank
we'll
you.
continue with the conversation.
Yep.
Están ustedes con Usalamedia, Compass. John Duffin nos acompaña en el día de hoy. Regresamos en un momento. Amigos de Usalamedia, estamos aquí de nuevo en Compass con John Duffin hablando sobre varios temas. As we promised, we are meandering. We have been meandering.
Sorry.
So here we are. Well, there are so many topics.
Sure.
And obviously the national campaign, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about that.
Happy to continue
We'll
the conversation.
Have quite a few programs
Right.
about what's up, because we don't know. It's wide open right now. We don't know what's going to happen.
No.
On both sides, because, they may have, the GOP may have some challenges for Mr. Trump. I don't know that they qualify.
Well, they're going to have them. They're going to have a lot of them. It's how do they unfold?
They're not going anywhere.
They're nowhere.
No?
Nowhere. When you use words like imminent and then nothing happens, that's to me a problem. So 4 weeks ago, imminent decisions made in the state of Georgia. Crickets.
Right.
The only decision that was made, I think, was last week when it was, I guess, March the 2nd, when they put legislation through that state of Georgia.
You mentioned that.
Yeah,
what was that
they're
about?
setting up a prosecutory watchdog committee so that you can set up this committee that oversees. It's an oversight committee, which obviously is just rec momentum and get in the way committee that can oversee certain prosecutions.
Right.
That's the sense. So, and it's moving. So you've got one of the governor, one of the governors, one of the lieutenant governors that have already pushed it through. It is moving through the state of Georgia, which means an oversight committee, or could mean, like, what do you think it means? In terms of that, we're just going to sit and get in the way of what was considered an imminent decision forthcoming a month ago.
Right.
And there's nothing. So they're going to get in and muddy the waters, some kind of like that judge that was picked for Florida that had no qualifications whatsoever.
Right.
That
To
was
muddy
just
the
gonna,
waters.
Right, and just sit there and get in the way.
Yeah.
And block time, which, by the way, is really the biggest enemy of these indictments is time.
The enemy of the January 6th committee.
That's it. Where it becomes old news, and then people care less.
Yes.
You shouldn't, but you do, because everybody's distracted, and you've moved on to other things.
At any time in American history,
Right.
the January 6th committee report, the final report, should have been an earthquake, politically speaking.
And decision, you say, right, and decisions should have been made. Speaking of imminent, it's like, here's the report. It's turned in.
Yes. And then
Nothing.
what? Nothing.
Yeah. So the hope is, for me anyway, biased as it may be, which is I feel like they've got enough. I simply feel like now it's like, okay, you're just over-checking your homework. That's my hope.
Are we too eager to see the results of that?
Yes.
Are we putting too much pressure on...
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I don't know, because the wheels of justice really move slowly. And they're like molasses right now.
True.
The Attorney General has all this information, supposedly. I mean, he knows more than we do, but we know enough to indict anybody.
Exactly. You would think. Here's what I think is changing.
Without the paperwork.
Yeah, well, the problem, I believe, is they're looking for 100% certainty.
But,
and
John,
you cannot, in a courtroom, you just can't. You go in with what they used to call, what was it, a preponderance of the evidence, so to speak?
I will bring the preponderance of the evidence. I will bring it on my phone. I'll bring the January 6th insurrection.
You would
Your Honor, here it is.
Look,
Watch them.
look, here's the pictures. So What are your thoughts in regards to the watered-down version of the videos that they're playing right now on entertainment station X, alleged news?
Now, my thought on that is that there should be legal consequences
Me
to
too.
McCarthy for releasing
Oh, me
that
too.
information. That's what I think.
Easy.
When and how, who's going to do it, I don't know. But there should be something, because that should be completely
Illegal.
illegal.
Illegal. There's no other way around it for me. To think that just, here you go. You've got it's a $1.6 billion lawsuit that's going on right now, going through the courts with Dominion, the voting, and
Right.
X News. And so in the midst of it, you hand over 40 hours of video unchecked. I can't even fathom how that's not considered illegal.
I know.
Can't even fathom it.
I know. And Fox News, as you say, it's not real news.
No, that's what I'm calling it, X News.
Okay.
Right.
No, I'd rather take the S off, and then it sounds better. So
I like that, by the way, Fox News.
it's like
Right, what?
they are not telling the truth to their audience. And,
No, that's why I'm saying, why would he go unchecked? Dude, here's some video that you can go play with.
Yes.
In the midst of documented lying, I'm going to hand you over 40 hours of video, and that's okay. And to me, it's just illegal times 10.
McCarthy saying to him, here, I'm
All
going
of
to
it.
help you lie.
Here you go.
I'll help you lie.
Here you go,
help
enjoy.
you reinforce it.
So you got the 8 o'clock clown, as not to be confused with the 9 o'clock or whatever time Laura Ingraham was on, but it's like the 8 o'clock clown that's getting vilified, and you're going to hand him specific. Absolutely, you're going to hand him the video,
Yes.
so he can now retrace all his steps. And in spite of the text messages that are all documented,
But you saw what he picked.
of course,
A scene where this guy who's dressed like
the Viking,
right?
and he's being led, a combo caveman Viking. He's being led around by one of the guards.
The guards, they're telling him to get out, and they're trying to direct him, which he picked like 10 seconds of that to show that he was actually being helped by the guards.
Couldn't do that? You work for a television network, and you don't think, by the way, as we just learned during the break, you don't mess around with the editors. Right? So there's your lesson. Right? Treat the editors like, oh, God bless Don, Danny and Dylan. But I was going to say, that's why editors are magicians.
Yes. Mea culpa, mea culpa.
But that's why you now have on television what looks like a guided tour to Caveman Viking, who broke down the doors and assaulted police officers, but it looks like they're giving him a guided tour, like he's a VIP.
Okay, but going back to what we were saying about Garland, is he going to prosecute anybody? Because he keeps saying nobody is above the law, but I mean, then he gave two other people the job of, I guess, issuing an indictment.
Yeah. It feels like, this is ridiculous to say, but I'll just say it. It feels like it's moving. It feels like it's getting damn close. You've gotten, in essence, with the state away from Garland, it feels like you've got people in place now that are accelerating with the witnesses they're bringing and maybe the questions they're asking. Yeah. I mean, with the state of New York, you've got a situation where it looks like next week that will conclude.
But the key witness in this case is sort of handicapped already, is Michael Cohen with evidence. He had the check. That was not enough. But that's what I say. Like, how much evidence? Your Honor, how much evidence? Here's a check. I am the guy who did it. I am the guy who was the intermediary between Mr. Trump and the porn star.
And Fernando, as I know you know, and has been brought in 20 times. 20. So my concern is, what are the follow-up questions? You just asked all of the questions that have all been answered.
Right.
Here's the check. Here's my position. What were the other 19 times? What did you need to know?
Right.
And so I'd like to think they've wrapped that up. But here's what my concern is this, that things don't happen unless you're certain. And what happens with that is so much time erodes that people don't care. So all of a sudden, you've got like the state of New York, what's that? Oh, I thought that was over. Didn't they send that other guy to Rikers Island? When was that again? So this is why it's not just the specificity of these 3 or 4 or whatever indictments, right? To me, it's more because you're just deadening people in the process.
Yes.
And making you look stupid. So all of a sudden, it's like they're looking the other side, and they're looking in terms of, oh my God, leave him alone. You just keep harassing the guy.
So Weissenberg is in
he's in
jail,
Rikers.
Right? Yeah. And Cohen went for 3 years.
3 years.
And Trump is walking around in Mar-a-Lago.
Everything's cool. He's at CPAC, playing to 30% capacity, and
and he said, what did he say? I'm your Avenger. The Avengers are suing him for using.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. He can't pick a theme song anymore because they're gonna, like, the artist will sue him. The movies are going to sue him when he's using the terminology. I love it. I love it. Cease and desist is great. I love it. He gets that because, like I said, he's a master of the legal process.
But what did he say? I am your.
He may have said savior. He may have said savior.
Yeah.
It's not Avenger. It was, and he said it last night. It was chilling because he repeated it.
Yeah. I am your savior. I am your Avenger. I like the precise word that he used, and also that he acquires in that mellifluous tone.
Oh yeah.
Very gentle.
Yeah.
No?
And that's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary because that's when he's leaning in. To me, that's when he's really leaning in.
Anybody who listens to Hitler's speeches or Mussolini's speeches,
he wasn't screaming. They
would recognize that immediately.
Right. They weren't always screaming.
No.
You know,
You'll
that kind of
that
literally the old lull you to sleep. I'm blanking on the words, and I watched it last night and again, and it's
I wrote it down, but I
to me.
To say I can't find it.
Bone chilling to me, the terminology.
It's unbelievable. So, but he uses rhetorical tools like, "I won the election, and everybody knows it." Everybody. And immediately I said, "No, not everybody knows that."
No. But everybody who cares about me knows enough, knows it.
Kevin Lake uses the same.
All the time. I think
everybody knows I won.
In the disgusting, I still remember, I think she said it at CPAC, but it was somewhere. But one of the things she said, which she discussed me, everything, my pronouns are I won.
Yeah.
It's literally her quote.
And Trump also says, frankly. It's another one, frankly, which it will be followed by the biggest lie ever.
A lie. So this is where it's like people, anybody, me, I'll just speak for me. It's like, be really clear on where you stand. Articulate it any chance you get, and learn a little bit so you don't get pushed away as ill-informed or stupid. Take the time to learn a little bit on your own. And I feel like it's the only way that we can push ourselves out of this, because I really believe right now, potentially, we're in deep.
Yes. There is some of paralysis in Congress because they have dedicated their time to investigate nothing, right? Even Republicans are complaining. Why are we wasting our money when there is urgency?
No budget, no thoughts of a budget,
right?
No timeline to this. Only the sense of the hard and fast timeline of needing to have this resolved so the government doesn't shut down. You know what I mean? It's like, right? But no, we're going to investigate transgender people. We're going to investigate drag queens at the library. That's you know, and this is McCarthy era. This is McCarthy era.
Yeah. On that thought, We're going to take another break.
You got
here
it.
En Usalamedia. Les habla Fernando Mendez en compañía de John Duffin. Estamos hablando sobre varios temas. Regresamos en un momento.
Boom, 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 hey, boom, 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 boom.
Amigos de Usalamedia, estamos de nuevo aquí en Compass con John Duffin hablando sobre varios temas. Dylan de Rosato dirige este programa. Les habla Fernando Mendez. Y nunca desperdiciamos una oportunidad para decir la verdad. So here's John with a quote of the Savior.
From last week at CPAC, so I will read. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. Repeats, I am your retribution. And if that shouldn't scare you,
That's scary.
it needs to.
Because that's calling for another insurrection.
Well, it's not even a dog whistle. Now, see, before it was more of, we're going to march down to the Capitol and we're going to, in that horrible voice. And so it's they're not dog whistles. They're direct commands. They are sit and wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. I'm coming, and then we're coming. I am your retribution. So, like from the worst sort of horror movie,
Yes.
you know, this is what he is. He's your living, breathing nightmare horror. And so I don't believe he has enough votes to win the election, but he didn't last time anyway, so
No.
it didn't matter. But if you've got the loud, crazy ones hearing that, that's their command to get ready, so to speak. What was the with the Proud Boys? Stand back. I can't remember. Like
Stand by and stand back.
stand back. Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
wait for me.
that's all. It's wait for me. I'm coming. So my thought, as I think that's through one more time. So the fact of the matter is, here's the good news. You know he's coming. Mm-hmm. He has no subtlety to him. No. So him sitting around saying in that quiet, I am your retribution. I'm sorry.
No, I am your retribution.
Right. It's not emphatic.
I am your savior.
Your savior. I am your warrior. I am your... Anyway, so what do you do? You know he's coming. What do you do? Know that he's coming. So take the preventative steps so that as you know, the unwanted house guest is showing up. I don't know, lock the door, lock the door, close the blinds, lock them out. That's what I'm saying. Lock them up. You got you got three different things going at least concurrently.
One of them should work.
You'd hope.
This Stormy Daniels,
Right.
Which a long time ago we thought that was it.
Right.
You know, when I heard that, I was like, okay, he's done.
Yeah.
In normal times, that should have been it.
So, did you hear that the planned defense, if this carries through, and it looks like it'll probably at least go to trial, right?
Yeah.
So the planned defense, and I just heard this the other night, which was interesting.
Well, he's saying he didn't do anything. He doesn't even know her now.
Right, but here's the other part. So when that wears out, because obviously that's easily provable that he did know her, and there's the check, and here's what was written.
And there are pictures.
Well, then you go with the other defense, which is, yeah, okay, fine. I did. But it had nothing to do with politics. It had to do with I was trying to save it or save my marriage. So I didn't want my wife to know, and that will be the defense, which is this has nothing to do with politics. This was I was trying to hide this.
Personal thing.
It's a personal thing. Has nothing to do with politics. I didn't want my happy marriage, and I say that in quotes, my crazy manufactured marriage to be disrupted. So hence, no politics, no foul. That's what is supposed to be the other defense they'll go with after they realize they can't go with the I don't know her. You know what I mean? It's like, so the good news, though, is it has nothing to do with as I'm learning. It has nothing to do with the defense.
Maybe
It's an explanation. Oh, it's an explanation. It's not a defense.
He could say, I was afraid I would have to go back to Serbia to find another wife.
Right? Mail order, right? So what I'm saying here is, he's coming, do something. They're going to do something. They're all going to come vote. So here's back to literally to tie this up. So what can you do? Provide solutions that people that you need to vote will respond, because he's coming may not be enough. You may need more to get younger people to vote. What are they voting for? What are their options? Not just in candidates, but in policies. You had a Bernie Sanders, I remember, who is as old as all of them, but was able to reach younger people because he spoke to them.
Yes.
He didn't pander to them. He actually spoke to them. So, but Bernie Sanders, he's out there. It's like those people listen to him. Amazing. And it's like, so to me, you better put somebody in play that is going to be, you need the disenfranchised people, younger people, LGBTQIA, transgender people, minority, give them a reason.
I saw a video with an English person. I don't remember the guy, but Bernie makes a lot of sense, and he actually speaks in facts and figures.
Always.
He describes what he's going to do for education, for the environment,
healthcare,
for healthcare, everything. And it's a shame that he's just now he might be as old as
I would say he's as old, exactly.
Yeah, so he would not be a change in that sense, but certainly with ideas that seem very fresh right now.
So you need to do something other than lock your doors and pull the blinds down, because this one's coming. So it. He's telegraphing it. And all the other people, and I'll say this is good news too, which is the other people don't have any original thoughts.
Right.
So so you know where they're coming. So you know exactly what they're going to say. You know exactly what they're going to do. So the old adage, fool me once, shame on, fool me once, shame on me.
Whatever Bush said that he screwed it up.
Fernando, I was just about to do it again. I was just about to do his. So fool me 3 times. I don't know. Thank you for cutting in with that, because I would have literally embarrassed myself just like that, right? But do something. Do something. The problem becomes when you're the smug crowd that thinks everything's fun and cool.
As you say, he's coming.
He's coming.
The bull is coming with his bullshit.
He's coming. They're all coming. They're all coming, and they're all voting. Every one of them is going to go vote. Every single one of them. And so you sitting at home, or as we talked about, people thinking, oh, this is fun because he's going to get indicted. And it solves
I don't have any faith in
nothing. Get up, do something.
Merrick Garland,
right?
That's what we need. We need something from
Move.
There. More solid, quickly.
Just move. Just move. There's nothing reckless about having, with Merrick Garland, and I do like him, but there's nothing reckless about having a full investigative report.
No.
Over a year later,
yes,
here's your 7,000 pages of hard fact documents, and you don't do anything with it.
Yes.
I'm just going to sit and read it at my leisure.
Well, he didn't
I'm on page 5. Sorry, I'm not done yet. And then people just...
At least he didn't do a Bill Barr thing, so that we have to be grateful for that.
Oh, my God. Exactly. So, but you got to move. You got to move.
So, John, we just made these people waste another precious hour of their time with our meandering.
On behalf of the worldwide, I apologize for all the meandering.
But thank you for coming.
Hey, I'm thrilled to be here. I really appreciate it.
We have to do it again.
I count on it. Thank you.
We need to waste more people's time.
That would be my honor. Happy to do so.
Amigos de Usalamedia, hemos llegado al final de esta edición de Compass. Se despide Fernando Mendez con John Duffin. Danny Ramos y Dylan de Rosato dirigieron este programa. Hasta la próxima.